Hello, witches! Welcome to. I'm hearing myself twice. Okay, I'm just going to keep talking. Are you guys hearing me twice?
It
Okay.
stopped. Everything's good.
Okay, it stopped. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Witches Movie Coven. Yay! Witches, talking about witches. That was not my best opening ever. But grab your goat, grab a drink, grab some killing machines from ancient Vikings, because we're talking about how to train your dragon. Because the good part of this is we are celebrating Jason's birthday. So everybody, let's happy birthday, Jason! Yay!
Woo!
My name is Patty Negri. I'm one of your hosts. You might know me from The Witching Hour or from different television shows or events and live events. But this is one of my favorite places to be and things to do is here with my movie coven. Let us start with Courtney.
That's me, Courtney Buckley, Ghost Bait on Scared and Alone. I missed you guys a lot. I was not feeling my best last week. But I'm back. I'm ready to rock and roll. And happy birthday, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank
Richard Lale.
I am Richard Lale. Richard Lale is one name, not two. If I were just Richard, I'd be a penis. I said that because I wanted to change it up since Jason Menke said last week that I say the same joke every week. I am a psychic and a medium. However, I used to be a psychic and a small because I gained some weight. That being said, I do tell the same jokes every time. I am known as the gentleman psychic. Anyway, I am here in New Orleans. That's me, Richard Lale. All hail.
Thank you. You threw him for a loop, Jason Menke.
I apologize. I didn't think that we remembered things from week to week on this show, other than the killing tree.
Other than
And the witch who came from the sea.
let's
Yes,
move it
those
on.
are the only important things.
And dragonly dressed Heather Green.
Hi, I am Heather Green, and this is one of my 3 dragons that are joining me tonight that I have trained. And I am the author of Lights, Camera, Witchcraft. It's a definitive guide of witches in witchcraft in American cinema and television. And I am a journalist as well, covering all things occult, and a editor at Llewellyn Worldwide, working with wonderful witchy and occult authors like some of the ones in our chat and that are here. I think Patty is smiling. She's going to show off her book because she's one of these Llewellyn authors. There it is, Dollcraft. And of course, and Jason is also a Llewellyn author, and he did not say it yet, but hold on a second. Let me just show off his book collection. Hold on. Sorry, no disrespect, Jason, but there are a lot of books.
For sure. It's a lot of stuff.
These are all literally of Jason books that he's published, and we're here to celebrate his birthday. So I thought it was appropriate to bring out, he isn't lying, 10 books. Some of them are on the floor at this point. 10 books. So congratulations, Jason, and take it away.
Thank you very much. And speaking of Jason, we saved the very best of the day for last, the birthday boy himself, the man of golden locks, Jason Menke.
I am Jason. I don't need to talk about the books. Heather showed all 10 of them. I can't even lift up all 10 of them at my advanced age. So that's very impressive. She's still going through them. Yeah, what else is there to say? Everybody's been so nice today. This won't last from week to week, but I'm going to take it today.
It will not. It is your birthday. And because it is your birthday, you picked the movie today, which is How to Train Your Dragon, the original from 2010.
Yay.
And hopefully you all saw it. I'm just holding back everything right now, I'm sorry to say. But just in case you didn't see it, Richard Lale, do you have a complete, thorough, unbiased synopsis of this lovely film?
I have something.
Oh no.
How to Train Your Dragon. Let me see. A week weighing 98 pounds would get sand in his face when kicked to the ground. But soon in the school, with just a little bit of drool, the sweat from him pours as he works for his cause. Thank you. So this 98-pound weakling is in love with a girl in school who's the popular girl in a village of Vikings where the adults sound like Mrs. Doubtfire, dear, but the children sound very American. That being said, they want to kill dragons. They want to kill dragons. They kill dragons. That's what they do. That's what they've done for hundreds of years, is kill dragons. And then the weakling, who weighs 98 pounds, whose father, of course, is the king of the village, whose mother is deceased because, of course, it's a cartoon, so mothers have to be deceased. Anyway, he injures a dragon, and instead of slaying the dragon like a brave Viking warrior, he cuts the dragon free, but only finds out that the poor dragon has injured its tail fin and cannot fly properly. So he rescues it, he befriends it, he learns that if he can build a new wing for it, a new fin, and he can train the dragon to fly and be his friend, even though it's kind of a cat. Long story short, he trains the dragon. The father gets angry. He can't slay the dragon for his final. The father finds out that he's been harboring dragons, that he's not a dragon slayer, but a dragon tamer, and they then decide they're all going to sail their little boats across the sea to find the island, the nest where the dragons live, and they're going to slay all dragons. Then, of course, the little boy does something that is unpredictable and crazy, and he takes the dragons and the bullies from the school, and they all go and fly, and they save the dragons, and they save the father, and they save the village. And then he gets the girl in the end, which is sometimes the best place to get a girl.
Oh, wow.
That
This is our
being said,
OnlyFans show.
that being said, Jason Menke did a most wonderful little story about me, so I will tell a little wonderful story about Jason Menke. What I have learned, not only from tonight's film, but from Jason Menke, is that everything can be magic. If it says Odin one time, it's magic. But Jason is also incredibly knowledgeable. He has written not one, but 10 books. 10 books. I wish that I could get my words on paper. I've been working on one book for 10 years. So it doesn't really add up, but Jason Menke has done 10 books in however many days it has taken him to write them, because he's brilliant. He could just do that. He's magic. Jason is magic. That being said, Jason is also one of the kindest individuals that I have ever met. And I also love the fact that Jason Menke knows that when people say things, he knows who he is. He is not one who is prone to over emotion when it comes to negative things, but he is kind, he is wise, he is funny, and he chose tonight's movie. So because of that, well, I love Jason Menke. That's all I'll say about this.
Thank you very much.
I was close to tears there, and then the last line. Yeah.
Okay. And again, now that we have the complete storyline, but there might be a little bit of more information we could put together. Thank you guys we will get to all of you in the chat room. Keep stuff up. Just want to answer before it goes. We are not all Satanists. We are all witches. We claim different things along the way. I don't know where that question came from, but we are not all witches, we are all witches, but we are not all Satanists. You have to guess. Satanists, not Satan. No, I did. All right. So, but moving back along to where we belong, Miss Heather Green, is there some more things we could add to that thorough information about this lovely film?
Sure. Well, first, let's just talk about the basics of the film. So it came out in 2010. It's the animated version, not the live action. We'll talk about that later, potentially. It was created or it was produced by DreamWorks, a newly developed in the 1990s, created by Katzenberg, Spielberg, and Geffen. So you see a Disney influence, of course, with this. And this is one of their successful films. Of course, they started in the 90s. And at this point, they were fairly successful, or very successful. This was written and co-directed by Chris Sanders, who was known for Lilo and Stitch and had a lot of animated films behind him, as well as being a Disney, having the Disney background. A lot of animators that were successful in the 90s, even into the 80s, if you think about Don Bluth, a lot of them did have that Disney training because that was the standard bearer. And Chris Sanders, and then Dean DeBlois, he also had that background also with Lilo and Stitch and a number of other things, and then eventually went on to direct and write. Both of them wrote, but direct and write, and being the creative genius behind the second, third films, as well as the franchise itself. The film was 165 million to produce this first one. It has since made over 500 million, a huge blockbuster, a huge success. The subsequent films, which I'll talk about in a minute, have made more, but you have to adjust for inflation. So this being the first film, it did very, very well. And it launched number 2, number 3, and all the other things, which I'll mention in a second. So we had a very successful film. And it was, what are the origins? Number 2, Cressida Cowell. You have to speak about her and the original book series. So the original book series started, let me see the date, 2003 was when she started writing these. There's 12 books. They are written for children about training dragons and a number of other things. Now, why did she write these? So she spent a lot of her childhood on what she calls a inhabited island west or northwest of Scotland. And there wasn't a lot there to do. There wasn't electricity in the home she stayed in, and she was left with the imagination of the caves and the nature around her that she explored, as well as she says her father told her a lot of mythological stories. So there she is as a child growing up with this, and that is what propelled her, inspired her to create the stories about mythological beasts, stories about old Vikings. All of that stuff came from the imagination she had as a child on this island of Mull in northern Scotland, or west of Scotland. So that is the origins of it. There are 12 books. I'm just looking to see if there's anything interesting. She is still alive. She lives in London. She's still writing. She's written a ton of other things if you're interested. But the books are very good children's books, and there are 12 of them. So I can definitely say read those. I'm looking for, so what happened after that? So we have the origins. Now let's see what happened after this movie. So it was very successful. So we had this one in 2010. We had How to Train a Dragon 2 in 2014, which is where there's a dude who's trying to kill the dragons, which they have to fight, and then the mom and all that. And then we can get into the plot of that. And yes, I've seen them all. How to Train a Dragon 3, Hidden World, is where they find the Light Fury, and our main character, our Night Fury, adorable guy, finds a girlfriend. All 3 of these films were offered or were up for nominations. Best Animated Oscar. None of them won, but they were up. That's how good they are. It has had short films, 6 of them. It has had the remake of 2025, the live action remake, and we can talk about live action dragons, like live action Lion King. We can talk about how that works. I can already see the eyes rolling in some of you guys. There is apparently a sequel to the live action dragons coming out in 2027. There have been TV series, DreamWorks Dragons, from 2012 and that early through 2023. There's been a number of series. There are theme parks. I don't know, Jason, did you go to one of those theme parks?
I
think
did.
it was open. We can talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about it during the show.
Yeah. So there's 3. No, there's theme parks. You can tell us about that later. There are video games. There are live shows. This is a behemoth. It has its own gravitational field. That's how popular this property has become. So next I want to talk about some of the characters, voice actors. Jay Baruchel, we saw him. He plays Hiccup. He is not in the live action version, but we did see him in The Sorcerer's Apprentice. If you guys remember that a few weeks ago, we talked about that movie. Oh, wait a minute. Did I hear something?
Oh, sorry.
It wasn't me.
Okay, so I thought I heard something. So The Sorcerer's Apprentice, he was there. He's also been a bunch of other movies. You might have noticed Almost Famous, Blackberry, and a number of other comedic films through the times. We also have Gerard Butler, who is Stoic, the dad. He also plays the live action dad in the new movie, 2025. You might recognize him from The 300, or I do have to put this in. He is the Phantom in Phantom of the Opera, the movie, which I did not realize until I looked that up. So, wow, we may be having to watch that on the show because musicals. America Ferrara, Astrid, when I think about her, I think of Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. For some reason, I will always remember her in that movie, but she was also in the Barbie more recently. She was also in Ugly Betty, the TV show. So she's a recognizable face. She voiced Astrid. So Jonah Hill, another recognizable face. I think of Superbad when I think of Jonah Hill, but he's also the Wolf of Wall Street, Moneyball. He's done a number of comedic roles, and he plays the brother. Where is he? Snotlout. Yeah, that's it. And then Kristen Wiig, we'll talk about her next. Rough Nut, she's the sister. She is obviously got her start on SNL, and she was, I think of her in Bridesmaids, tons of comedic roles that she's played, as well as Martian, non-comedic roles. I also recommend she's in Masterminds. If you have not seen this movie with Zach Galifianakis, you must watch it. It is absolutely hysterical. One last mention, David Tennant. Not everybody knows he's in this. Everybody loves him. Spitlout. He, of course, known for Doctor Who, but also we've mentioned him here before, in Harry Potter, as well as Good Omens. So he is a phenomenal British actor, and he is a voice actor in this one as well. Not all these actors are in the 2025 film, so just be aware of that. It is slightly different. I think Gerard Butler is the only one that makes the transition. And then, so I think that's, yeah. So last, I want to just talk a little bit about this period of time when this came out, because it's really interesting. So this movie, they bought this property at a time in 2010, 2008, 2009 or so. And what's interesting about that is that this is a boys coming of age story. Okay, very popular during the 2000s. Harry Potter, thank you. So this really was riding on the popularity of looking for something that's going to appeal to young people the way Harry Potter did. The story of this young boy fighting against his dad, his parents, missing parents, finding love in this mystical universe, in this metaphysical, this world, this magical world. And so that really is a good property that any producer would say, hey, yeah, let's try that. Harry Potter is popular, so let's do this. So this really kind of sat really nicely there. But what's interesting about it is that it was perfectly timed. They didn't mean it. It didn't happen on purpose. But if you think about it, in 2010, it comes out, right? Okay, this is going to ride the waves of the Harry Potter craze. Okay, good, let's do it. Then 2011, Game of Thrones comes out. Game of Thrones hits like a brick. Everybody loves it. Dragons, mystical, magical, everything. Game of Thrones runs 2011 to 2019 with the whole dragons, with everything. So, of course, this rides that wave. This is perfect for that. And on top of that, 2013, we have Vikings, another amazing series that now is capitalizing on this Viking lore. And while 2000 to 2010, we love these mystical stories about young children finding their way through the world, and 2010 to 2020, we love these stories of olden times, of these mystical, magical olden times. And so this like hit, I think it was an accident, and sometimes accidents happen, and it's a beautiful animated film, but it hit perfectly, capitalizing on the Harry Potter wave with the story and the baseline story, but then riding it through Game of Thrones dragons, Vikings Valhalla, House of Dragons, you name it. It was perfect. It sat perfectly comfortably in its chair and wrote it out and was amazingly successful. And it remains so today. So that is the story. And I will leave you guys to your judgments now. And my dragon is watching.
Yes, that's a beautiful dragon, I must
He's
say.
falling asleep, but hold on a second. Let me see if we can wake him up. There he is.
Oh,
That's a beautiful dragon.
He's got friends. I'll bring the other ones out in a few minutes if they feel like they're going to wake up.
No, that's good. I have dragon. I'm a dragon girl. I have dragons all over my house. I work with dragons. I believe in dragons. My dragons can't listen to this because I thought it would hurt their feelings too bad.
Oh no.
Film. You guys, this was the most painful film I have ever watched in our 3 years of doing this. The whole movie is about killing dragons. I'm oversimplified. I saw, okay, there's a good movie. There's good actors. There's beautiful animation. I said, get away, dragon. Don't hurt the dragon. A horrible father-son relationship. I get with horrible father-son, evil, icky father, poor kid, likes the girl. I cringed. I wanted to take a drink. I wanted to take a Valium. I wanted to take... I've never seen Bambi. I've never seen Old Yeller. I won't watch Frankenstein because of the wolves. My favorite animal in the whole world, again, which are there in every corner of my house, is dragons. A whole movie about torturing dragons. Bring them into the center of the thing and let's kill another. Let's beat up another dragon. I had to hold on to Black Phillip like this the entire night, and I have to watch it. It's Jason's birthday. I can't watch it. Oh my God. And I think there's something wrong with me because they're Mary Jane. I know, but I really do, because this was the hardest of all the bad movies we've watched, the good movies we've watched. This pained me to my depths of my soul to watch this. Don't you guys love dragons? Don't you feel for the dragons? Stop dragging my heart around. Oh, whoever wrote that. Thank you. Okay. I just have to sit for a moment. I'm handing it over to you because my dragons are all hiding in another room right now.
I would like to say that because of that review, I don't feel as bad about having everyone watch The Shadow last week.
I was just going to say, I no longer, not that I did before anyway, but I no longer carry any guilt for making anyone watch The Killing Tree or talking about it all the time. Jason, how does it feel to annoy Patty with your birthday pick?
Worst.
The thing about movies are they're supposed to bring about an emotional reaction in the person that is watching the films. And in this case, the movie succeeded because Patty clearly had an emotional reaction. And by the end of the film, when they had stopped hunting the dragons and everybody was happy, I am sure that her heart was full of joy and relief and probably a little bit of happiness that everything worked out okay on the island of Berk.
Are you sure about that, Jason?
No, I'm not.
Jason?
I'm not, but I'm just going to say it.
Okay. The big evil dragon was killed. There's got to be a bad guy. The big evil dragon was blown up. But at the end, everybody is wildly riding these. I feel like a PETA person or something. And I'm not a PETA person. And they talk about, oh, everything's horrible here except our pets. They just turn them into pets.
Oh, you need to watch all three
yeah.
of them.
I
You
was
need
just
to
gonna
watch
say
all three of them.
you have to continue. You have to continue
You need to finish
watching.
the story.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I think
All right.
I think one thing that Heather didn't say in her 5 things about this film, and I think it's really important to understanding the dragons in this film. The writers have admitted that the dragons are based on cats. If you know anything about cats, cats only do what cats want to do. So the people aren't writing the dragons. The dragons are letting them be ridden. It's the dragon's choice. And also too, now the dragons have people who will do all of their work for them because that is very much also like a cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, the dragons are just as manipulative as the people, if not more so. I mean, looking at Hiccup just makes me want to cry and not Hiccup, but Toothless. Every time I see Toothless, I want to cry because it reminds me of my cat so much. But because again, the dragons are cats, and you have to look at the whole movie through that lens of the dragon being.
Okay, so a movie about killing cats. Great.
Well,
All
the dragons by the end, all the dragons love their humans. Like they pick their humans, and they're all living in harmony.
I get that. Again, at the end, I'm glad the dragon survived. Everybody lived happily ever after. There was some joy within it, but this they said, except for our pets. Pets with such disrespect. Pets was said with such my cat. Should I over here? Should I kill her? Oh, beat her with the big axe. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Black Phillip. I just
there is more drama coming from Patty's little square tonight than maybe the entirety of the series. I think
this movie.
That is so true.
I cringe. I was just like, and the father would come home and he was so mean to his son, and his poor son tried so hard. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they have to have somewhere to grow from, right?
That being said, I actually agree with Patty on this one because it reminds me of something that I talk about all the time, but it's not the Killing Tree, the Addams Family. I talk about that every day.
Your Killing Tree.
It's my Killing Tree. In the Addams Family Goes to School, 1964, the truant officer Sam Hilliard comes to school, and they comes to take the Addams kids to school. Anyway, through this sort of family parenting, the Addams children are sent off to school, and on day one, little Wednesday comes home crying because they have read a story about where a knight in shining armor kills a dragon, and she's inconsolable. And Gomez says, "What? They killed a dragon? Who would do such violence?" And so because of that, I also agree with Patty. Who would commit such violence against a dragon? And then she goes on to talk about how they pushed a witch in an oven. And then, of course, that's just the end of it.
That's
violence. They are teaching children.
Pushing witches and that's fine. We're grown up. Animals, dragons, mythical beasts. All right, but thank you for that, Richard Lale. It makes me feel better. Thank you.
They are Vikings. I mean,
you
have to lower your expectations of Vikings. We're kind of violent.
But it seems like they did nothing in life but want to torture and kill. Nothing else. Nothing else.
Well, because their island was plagued by dragons.
Yeah, they had to grow and they had to learn together, as Courtney says. Mm-hmm. There has to be room for growth in these pictures.
Okay. All right. Somebody else talk. Jason, you picked the movie. You go next.
I did. Well, I did not see the first one in the theater and kind of mocked it for a while. I was like, I don't want to watch this. And then I think one night Ari and I watched it on one of the streaming services. And again, I tell you, I cried. This movie makes me cry because Toothless is my Eevee. And it just gets me. I don't know. I think I have an affliction with it, but it just gets me really hard. And like watching the movie and how Toothless is, I like you, but I hate you at the same time, right? I mean, that's sort of their introduction. You know, am I going to snuggle up next to you, Hiccup, or am I going to bite your hand off? That was like what my cat was like for a very, very long time. And so that's my cat. The black one is my cat. That's Evie. Also, kind of looks like Toothless because, you know, black cat. Also, she has this very funny grin where like one of her fangs just kind of falls out of her mouth and it's embarrassing. And I think she knows it, but she's so adorable and cute. Anyway, we're watching the movie and we look up and we just look at my cat and I'm like, I just melted to see my cat, you know, and hundreds of other people's cats and thousands of them like on screen acting like a cat, having this relationship with a human being, watching that relationship grow with the human being over 2 hours. That's why I love this movie so much. And now I can't talk. This will happen 4 more times.
Well, I think because you're so emotional over it, I think that we should watch the live action of Cats. It gets everything.
My birthday choice hasn't been picked yet, Richard Lyle. Don't entice me.
That does bring up an emotional response for sure, that particular movie.
It not only brings up an emotional response, it also brings up your lunch.
Listen, I was going to say dinner would be awesome.
So didn't you feel bad when they strapped that poor dragon onto the boat and had him held down to guide them there, and the boat's on fire?
You're supposed to feel bad. That's the point of the movie. You're supposed to feel bad.
That's
but it's like being fearful for a protagonist in any movie. You know, like there is no drama without some conflict. You know, those are terrible cats.
That was horrifying.
Horrifying cat. All right. So again, and we love you for your birthday, Jason. Who wants to talk, Courtney?
Okay. Well, first, I would just like to say, yes, it's terrible that they strapped the dragon down, and the boat and the fire. But what about when he was injured and they didn't like put him down or like anything like that, but they built him a new tail so he could fly again, and then he needed help to fly from Hiccup, and that's what Hiccup does. Like, does Hiccup get no credit?
No, Hiccup gets lots of credit. I'm sorry. Hiccup gets credit because he was the good guy in there. He helped the dragon. Yes, of course, I understood that. But 5 minutes of a movie, it's like
it doesn't outweigh it. I get it. Okay, well, we are a How to Train Your Dragon household. Nathan was born the same year this movie was born. And when he was old enough and watched it, it became one of his special interests for a while. So it was constantly on the TV. I haven't seen the new one because live action version of it feels like Heather said, like the live action Lion King, which feels like there was no point to. But the original 3 animated ones, and we've seen the series and the short films and all that. I love this. I love Burke. I love the transformation of the Vikings, and I think that it's funny and it's heartwarming, and it I think I cried at the second one, maybe the third one, maybe both. One of them I can't remember which one it was because I haven't seen them in a while, but one of them I was inconsolable for. But yeah, it's I think, Patty, maybe you should try the next couple, because you get to watch them all grow up and really come into their own, and they change the way that they live for the dragons.
And you tried so hard that you were inconsolable? Was that for dragons?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like how these movies don't insult kids. I like how these movies don't insult kids either. I mean, they deal with real issues. It really ramps up in the second one. It's kind of I remember watching with my wife. I was like, this is a kids movie because they do not ever talk down to kids in the Train Your Dragon films.
Yeah,
that's good.
And I think it was one of Nathan's had a lot of special interests in his life, and some of them I'm more fond of than others, or more interested in partaking in than others. But this one was one that I was happy to. I made him like I did a lot of crafting. I made him a room sign for his door with his name in it, and I did the like the toothless like circle symbol, and I like wood burned it. Like it was like it like took over our whole. We had the toothless Build-A-Bear. We had all the action figures. I was constantly stepping on dragon saddles everywhere in the house. So yeah, I'm with you, Jason. I love it. No notes. Couldn't have made it better.
Can I jump in there and also say we are also a How to Train Your Dragon family. My kids were the perfect age when this came out. We had a 9-year-old, 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old, and this came out. We saw it in the theater, and I watched all 3 of them. And if you have children, you understand when a kid loves a movie, how many times they watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen the first one, I don't know how many times, and then the other 2 as well, because I watched the movies at least once with my kids when they were interested. And I have a really fun story and a touching story about this, and I'm going to have a little show and tell. So when this movie came out, my kids were really into dragons. They had read all the books, Rick Riordan, they were all into all of that stuff, right? So this movie comes out, and they were so into it, they got sometime after that, they went away for the weekend with their grandparents. And I had seen the movie with them, and I had said how much I love Toothless. I'm like, oh, I want a Toothless. I'm going to have a dragon when I grow up. I'm going to have a dragon. I'm going to have a dragon just like Toothless. I used to tell them all that. So they went off with their grandparents. They come back from a weekend with their grandparents, and they are so excited. They come running up to me, and they hand me this. They hand me this little guy, and I'm like, they said, now you have a dragon. Now you have Toothless for you, just like you always wanted. Well, apparently, this Toothless was inside one of those claw games. And they took all of their coins that they had at their little arcade, and they spent the whole time, their grandparents told me later, trying to get this Toothless out of the claw game just for me.
Oh,
He's my two oldest. And they spent all these hours. They're like, we couldn't get them away from the claw game. They would not leave it until they got the Toothless for you. So they gave me this little Toothless. And they said it needs to be on your bed to take care of you. So I put it on my bed. And it gets better. So I put it on my bed. This was 2010. And it sat there on my bed. It made my bed. Toothless would be there. Toothless is always on my bed. And then at some point when they were in high school, I moved Toothless to my office, and they realized, and one of them realized, where's Toothless? Why isn't he on your bed? Well, he's in my office. He'll be fine. They tell the other ones, they get angry. Toothless needs to be on my bed. So now my kids are in high school and going into college, insisting that Toothless is on my bed. Of course, my current partner, he moves in. He's like, why is there a stuffed animal on your bed? So I had to tell him the story. So Toothless has been on my bed. Here he is. Toothless finally moved to my office, back to my office, because my 2 oldest are now living in other parts of the world. And my youngest is in college. So Toothless is now back in my office, but Toothless lived on my bed because they insisted, even through late high school and college, that Toothless lived with me in my office. So in this little guy, so Toothless has Jason, he has a personal connection for you. Here is my personal connection to my children. Bought me this gift out of a claw, and we have a picture of one of them. He was so into it, do we have the picture? He wanted to be a Viking. There's my oldest child. The year the movie came out for Halloween, he had to be Hiccup. So there was his Hiccup costume, and he said it was okay to share that with him. He's now in Japan, so he's probably not watching, so that's fine. But yes, we this was a big thing for us, all the dragons and everything. And so this is my Toothless story, my little Toothless guy.
sweet. Thank you.
I love the costume, but as an historian on that, every time I see a Viking horse, I laugh because it's 19th century. It really came about in the Ring Cycle Wagner. But that didn't happen.
That was just
if it helps, Burke is not a real place either.
No.
So who knows?
And in the movie, as I will touch on in the quotes, the helmet that Hiccup wore was made from his mother's breastplate. And it matched with it was a matching pair with his dad's. So it's supposed to look different.
It's not supposed to be historical whatsoever. There is no, no. I totally get it, Richard Lell, because I'm a historian and I note that stuff, and sometimes it bothers me, but this is just all make believe. I know that practicing heathens would probably have issues, but
It was the one thing that bothered me even more than the Scottish accents of the adults and the American accents of the children. I noted that, but I was like, you know what? I can let that go. And then I read why they had it was a casting choice that fell through. And then they were like, well, it symbolizes the old world of the parents and the new world of the youth. But they all sounded like Mrs. Doubtfire. So I don't know.
Thank you. And that's all your thoughts on the film?
That's all my thoughts. It was definitely, I could see a cat. I love cats. I could see the cat.
No, not those cats.
Stop showing those cats.
That's
Those
offensive.
we have to
Those
watch
cats.
that movie. We definitely have to have that on the schedule.
I was actually a little bit, I had to pause, and then I went and made myself some dinner, and then I came back and I was like, why do I still have an hour on this thing? I wanted to love it. I really, 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 really wanted to love it. I thought it was cute. I liked the end where they were happy. I didn't love this movie.
It's okay. We all like different things, and I think that's
Nobody
fine,
last
right?
week liked Dark Shadows but me. So
Well, that movie was just bad, though. Nobody.
yeah, but I knew it was bad.
It's
only-
okay.
I'm not even sure Alec Baldwin likes that movie.
This one was worse.
No.
Imagine.
Oh,
I'm just gonna say no to that one, Patty. I
I
love you, Patty, but no.
I love you, but no, it just hurt. The other one hurt in a different way, a different kind of cringe. This was a painful, violent cringe.
You have to watch, Patty, really watch, because the point of this movie was to stop what you're talking about. The point of this movie, Hiccup wanted to stop and make peace with these animals. And they have to get through the difficult part. And there's more of that in the second one. But if you can get through to the third one, you can see how Hiccup supports the freedom of the dragons and wanting them to live their own lives and lets all the cats free in the backyard and be feral and all that stuff, which is what the third one is all about, is finding the hidden world where the dragons come from. And oh my goodness, when Hiccup finds his girlfriend, I was all about that. I'm like, oh my goodness, can I be a Light Fury? I want to find my Night Fury and just live the rest of my life happy in the hidden world. It's just so sweet.
Okay.
So sweet.
Heather, since you are Heather and I love you and I respect your opinions on things, I will take your word for that. So thank you.
Yeah, you don't have to. I know you're not going to watch it, but just take our word. It's
what we're gonna
like
when we see Patty in March, what we're gonna do is just quietly put 2 and 3 on the screen, and then she'll just be forced to watch them.
Her eyes open, right? Yeah.
That's the plan.
It's a plan. So
Higonicon will turn into How to Train Your Dragon
How
Con.
to Train Your
How to
Dragon.
Train Your Patty.
Okay, well, I love you guys so much, so we'll do it. All right, do we have any quotes on this film?
Boy, do we. So I'm going to start with the beginning, which I think is a great introduction to Burke. So Hiccup says, "This is Burke. It's 12 days north of Hopeless and a few degrees south of freezing to death. It's located solidly on the meridian of misery. My village, in a word, sturdy. It's been here for 7 generations, but every single building is new. We have fishing, hunting, and a charming view of the sunsets. The only problems are the pests. You see, most places have mice or mosquitoes. We have dragons. And then that changes because he says it again at the end. And I know he says pets, and Patty takes offense to that, but it changes, his whole viewpoint changes, which I think is pretty cool. Hold on one second.
I had not tied the pests into the pet. I remember that. So that makes me feel a little better that the way they said pets, that was thank you for that, Courtney.
You're welcome. I also would like to, I have one quote. Let me find it. Jason said, I think before we were on air, that he didn't know that we remembered things from week to week except for the Killing Tree. And Jason, I remember year to year. So as a callback to your last birthday film, one of the quotes that I chose was Gobber said, "Beard of Thor, what is that?" And then Stoic says, "Odin, help us," which, if you remember, Anchorman, which I proved beyond a shadow of a doubt is a witch movie. They also mentioned Odin and Thor in that movie as well. So just to call back to Jason's last birthday. Okay. So Hiccup and his dad are arguing, and he's trying to say, his dad's telling him he has to kill dragons, and Hiccup is saying he doesn't want to kill dragons. He can't kill dragons. He's not going to kill dragons. And Stoic says, "This is serious, son. When you carry this axe, you carry all of us with you, which means you walk like us, you talk like us, and you think like us. No more of this." And Hiccup says, "You just gestured to all of me." And that happens multiple times, which I think is funny. But we move on from that. Yep, it is. Again, him and his dad are arguing a little bit, where you have to have a talk, and they say, "Oh, we have something to talk about, blah, blah, blah. You go first." And his dad says, "You're going to start dragon training. You get your wish." And Hiccup's trying to tell him he doesn't want to do it. And he says, "Oh man, I should have gone first, because I was thinking, we have a surplus of dragon fighting Vikings, but do we have enough bread making Vikings or small home repair Vikings?" Which I thought was cute. And then Hiccup and Gobber are fighting. And again, Gobber says, "Hiccup, if you ever want to get out there to fight dragons, you need to stop all this." And Hiccup says, you just pointed to all of me. But this time Gobber says, "Yes, that's it. Stop being all of you," which is pretty funny. Gobber and Hiccup again. Gobber says, "Oh, nice of you to join the party. I thought you'd been carried off." And Hiccup says, "Who, me? Nah, come on. I'm way too muscular for their taste. They wouldn't know what to do with all this." And Gobber says, "Well, they need toothpicks, don't they?" Stoic says, "When we crack this mountain open, all hell is going to break loose." And Gobber says, "And my undies. Good thing I brought extras." And that made me think of Patty's dragon power panties.
I have dragon power panties, or I had dragon power panties. Yes.
I also had Patty's dragon power panties, and I wore them on investigations where the same thing happened. Okay, Stoic presents Hiccup with his helmet and says, "Your mother would have wanted you to have it. It's half of her breastplate." And Hiccup immediately takes it off. And Stoic taps his own helmet and says, "Matching set." Keeps her close, And then one that I thought was really poignant was Astrid and Hiccup. And Astrid they're talking about, the whole situation. He can't kill the dragon. And first he says, "I couldn't kill the dragon." She's asking him why he can't kill the dragon. And he says, "For the love of, I was a coward. I was weak. I wouldn't kill a dragon." And she said, "You said wouldn't that time." And he said, "Oh, whatever. I wouldn't. 300 years and I'm the first Viking who wouldn't kill a dragon." And Astrid says, "First one to ride one though. So," and Hiccup says, "I wouldn't kill him because he looked as frightened as I was. I looked at him and I saw myself." And then Hiccup says, "Most people would leave, not us. We're Vikings. We have stubbornness issues." So those are my quotes. Happy birthday, Jason.
Yay, Jason.
Great Odin's Raven.
Odin's
Great.
It's Jason's
Open.
birthday
All
again.
right, Mr. Birthday Man, Mr. Mankey yourself. Do we have the Mankey movie moment?
We do, but before that, though, I want to talk about Burke. So last year, Universal Studios in Orlando opened up a new theme park called Epic Universe, and it has 5 different worlds within that universe, and one of them is Burke, and it's the biggest there, and it's the best there. It's so immersive. You see pictures of it right there. Just absolutely beautiful. It has the most rides. The score of the movies plays throughout the park in this little world, and the score of these movies is terrific too. It was nominated for Oscars like it should have been. And if you ever get a chance, it's just really terrific. You can actually meet Toothless if you want to. They have like a full animatronic Toothless, but the line to meet Toothless is 2 or 3 hours long at all times of day at the park. So I did not get to do that. There is a live action movie though, like not movie, but like play that they do at the park. And there's a Toothless that flies like onto the stage above you and you see Toothless, and it's pretty epic. Like I got to see like a real Toothless in real life fly above me in a theater, and it was pretty cool. So if you get a chance and you have hundreds of dollars to waste, you should go to Epic Universe and you should go to Burke. You don't have to go to the Harry Potter land. It sucks. It's Burke that is the magic, and it's the best. So with that being said, the sun is shining, but the ice is slippery. That's a phrase that is not in How to Train Your Dragon, because this is a good movie. It's not a perfect movie, but it's still good, maybe even great. And a lot of the reason it's great is because the dragons are based on the behaviors and quirks of cats. There are some people who think that dogs are humanity's best friend, but those people are wrong. You see, cats are superior because cats give us a purpose in life. And that purpose is to serve cats. When cats are hungry, they will let us know by demanding food. And most often, they will demand a particular type of food, especially if you are out of that particular kind of food. Cats are affectionate creatures when they want to be. On a cold, dark January night, there is something comforting about a warm, furry cat in your lap, and get your head out of the gutter. But it's not up to you when the cat will arrive in your lap, or even if it will arrive there at all. And the optimum time for a cat to crawl into your lap, by the standards of a cat, is about 3 minutes before you plan to start getting ready for bed. During those 3 minutes, the cat will remind you of how adorable it is, while also making you feel guilty for getting up and moving it out of your lap. If you are wearing a sweater you don't want to get cat hair on, the cat will inevitably crawl up your sweater to leave as much of itself on that sweater as possible. Haven't you always wanted a sweater made from breathable cotton and assorted cat hairs? Of course you have. As their servants, we are responsible for taking care of cats. And that means cleaning up their stinky poops and extra stinky pees. And if you don't do enough of this cleaning, your cat will let you know by leaving a present for you outside of their litter box. Yes, the cat knows it could have pooped in the box, but it also knows that you will clean up the poop and then probably give them a can of tuna. As creatures superior to us, cats have no qualms, worries, or hangups. You cannot embarrass a cat because, again, it is better than you. That is why cats are completely comfortable licking their own butts right in front of a gaggle of spectators. And when they are done licking their butt, the cat might demand to be petted as the king or queen it is. Perhaps it will also grace to lick your hand or chew your hair using the tongue it just used 4 minutes ago to clean its ass. Oh, you could only be so lucky. Cats are entitled to 18 to 20 hours of sleep per day. You and I, as their servants, are entitled to much less sleep because we have duties to attend to. Perhaps you will need to fill up a food bowl at 4 a.m. because there is a very small portion of the bowl where the cat can see the bottom of that bowl, despite there being plenty of food in the rest of the bowl. Or 2 a.m. might be a time for additional pettings, since those 3 minutes given to your royal feline earlier in the evening were woefully inadequate. Were you sleeping? Well, you certainly aren't sleeping now. What does all this have to do with How to Train Your Dragon? Well, again, the behaviors of the dragons are based on cats. My own cat, Evie, is literally toothless, as we've explored throughout this show. She is weird and untrusting around humans until suddenly she isn't, and you find her licking your face. She is sweet and loving, and she's also stubborn and thick-headed. And every time I hear Hiccup say, "Hey, bud," I think of my Evie, and right now, like this, I find myself on the verge of tears. And while the other cat in our house, Summer, is not toothless, she, like a dragon, is a very magical creature. Courtney loves to threaten hexes. Never forget that at least one of my cats knows magic, if you've seen the pictures, and that cat is more than happy to hex anyone. Probably Patty tonight after this show. How to Train Your Dragon is a great movie because they base the dragons on the greatest weird little creatures in the universe. Cats. I couldn't tell jokes about this movie. I love it too much.
That was beautiful.
Oh.
I did not think about or know that they had based it on cats. I'm trying to think if I look back, would I like it better?
No.
It's killing cats in your mind.
Right. I don't want torture, beating up, and how can you hurt cats? No.
Forget toothless. Patty's ruthless.
Yeah.
That's the new form of dragon.
All right. It is almost that time. What we have to do is actually we have to vote. We have to vote. Wands up, wands down on. Oh, look at you, Richard Lale.
Yes. It's actually a salt. It's a salt boat. So you're supposed to put, it's vintage. It's probably from about 1910. It's pretty. It holds a lot of salt, but it doesn't float in water, just like this movie.
So does that mean that this is your vote, Richard Lale? Are you like in because it's not down, right? Are you
It's
like
neutral?
in the middle?
It's a neutral.
Okay.
It's a neutral.
Right.
It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but I could have. I mean, it was okay. To quote Heather Green, I didn't mind it. I didn't like the dragon killing part, but I didn't mind it. It was overall, I like kitty cats. It was okay.
So in the chat, everybody's wands up, and out of us here, Courtney's up, Heather's up, Richard Lale's neutral, my wand is up, and Patty's not here. So it's pretty unanimous that most everybody at least kind of likes this movie. Fantastic.
Also, real quick, I would just like to say I'm also giving a wands up for the death glare. I don't know if anybody caught it, but the death glares that Patty was giving out, looking at not at Richard Lale. I watched her eyes, and she looked at me. She looked at Jason. She was like this. She looked at Richard Lale, and she was like, and then Heather.
I think this is the first time we've seen this much aggression against the movie in what 3 years? Patty, so wands up for Patty's glare, death's glare.
My death glare, and hopefully you'll never have to see it again. But if you do, you will now recognize it. Now, I was not straight down. I went this because I do know it's a good movie. I do know it was well put together. The animation, the music, the voice acting. It was just painful.
It's because you're a beautiful soul,
I love
Patty.
this side of Patty. Now my goal is for my birthday movie to find a movie that Patty is gonna react like this about, because I need to see this happen again.
Okay, all right. Oh God.
How to Train Your Dragon 2. Here we come.
This is right up there with Richard Lale telling us Valentine's Day was his favorite holiday. It's one of those things that's going to sit with me here. Like, I have to sit with this.
I can't relive that moment.
We will sit. So it's almost to the end of time. What are we doing next week?
Stranger Things.
Oh, that's right. Stranger Things. I have been binging. So everybody go binge on Stranger Things. Any specific section? See, just the whole thing, right?
General. As much as you can watch and stand.
I've watched a few episodes from before, so I'm going to be doing what Jason Mankey accused me of doing and going to Google. Just
Don't
because.
worry, Richard Lale, so will I. We can even read it together at the same time.
Mm-mm-mm.
Bonding. It'd be a bonding.
We'll have words next week then. It'll be a fun show.
Thank you, guys. It is that time. Please come down. Please tell your friends. Please go to Mystery Control and buy T-shirts like "That was the worst movie I've ever seen" or whatever our quotes are along the way. You can have a Richard Lale pillow. You could have you could have cloaks and dragons. You could have your very own Black Phillip. You could have your very own Bling Phillip. And everybody needs one. You could beat it up. You could kill it like a dragon. You could do whatever you want. You could even buy dragons on Mystery Control. We have a whole new dragon section on Mystery Control. So please go there. Please like us. Please follow Dragon Collection right there. Like us, follow us. Be kind to your dragon. Be kind to your cat. We have one more thing to do. 1, 2, 3.